I'm a bad mood, gotta keep it tight. Hold my baby squid, keep him out of sight. Talking about my life, government, stay away. Watch me drive, I'ma do it my own way. Squid in the ocean, swimming all alone. Ain't nobody telling me where to go. Living free, gotta stay true to myself. No need for interference from anyone else. Squid pro quo, that's the way to be. Living on my terms, setting myself free. I'm out to my baby, protecting with my no government intrusion. I control my life.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Happy Saturday. We made it through this incredibly long week. Thanks for your patience yesterday with me not streaming and saying I was gonna stream and then canceling it, changing the time. It's just been a whirlwind of a weekend and I am just not feeling great. I'm still a little stuffy. I feel like okay, this is going to sound gross, but I know that you with allergies will like understand where I'm coming from. It feels like you have a lump in the back of your throat and you're trying to swallow it or you're trying to cough it up and neither one works. So you feel like you need to constantly clear your throat and it's just annoying and kind of painful. That's what was giving me a sore throat. And it's cold here. And from those of you who have lived in both the north and the south, when it comes to cold, it does get cold here. It's like 35 degrees right now. But like, when it's cold up north in the wintertime, it is so dry. Get that out of your mouth. She has a boogie wipe to wipe because she had banana on her face and she likes to excuse me while I grab this from her, and I'm going to stop my camera so you can't see my big old butt this morning. But you're fine. She likes to bite them and then rip them apart, and then I have little pieces of wipes all in my house everywhere. And like I find stuff in her clothes when she's just a toddler and learning to figure out things. But like, it is 35 degrees outside right now, but it is 80% humidity. It just hits differently. Like, it's that go dunking yourself in water and then walking outside. It is that it's hard to describe if you've never felt it. But like, yes, it does get cold down here. But the cold hits differently. I can deal with a dry 30 up north, but 30 and wet down here is just gross. And it just hits different. Like, and if you've never experienced both, it's hard to describe the difference. Yes, the achy bones, like the achy bones kind of cold. And good morning, Uncle Buck. How are you this morning? Good morning, Flash Fan. I hope you can join us, but if not, that's great. I always appreciate you. Hung Hero, thank you for being a member for 2 months. I can't believe it's been 2 months since If you know of Fudbusters, more Gingras shenanigans. Oh boy, I saw your post this morning on a Discord about how I might not like a certain streamer, and it's not that I have anything, like I have a personal agenda against him. But like, some of the things that have been said by this person, I just don't like. Like, we would never be able to go out to a bar and have a conversation kind of person. But his content most of the time and his opinions on cases is pretty good. Morning, Sharon. Good morning, Squid. Happy Saturday from Marblehead, Ohio. Marblehead. Wishful when. I'm here. Good. I got my brand new CPAP machine yesterday. Last night was the best sleep I've had in years. Even better than when I was using my wife's dinosaur sleep. I'm awake. What's that like? The little actually took a 3-hour nap yesterday. And guess who was sleeping right beside her? I laid down with her so she would fall asleep, and I was in the Wilborns chat because the Wilborns was doing the Diddy hearing yesterday, and I was in her chat, and then I wasn't. And then I wake up and it's like 5:30 and it's dark, and I'm like, this is not how I went to. This is not how it was when I laid down. And then I laid down with her last night because Mr. Squid is working this morning, so he got up at 2:30. Well, 2:45, and he sorry about and I'm dehydrated. That's part of my problem this morning. I laid down with her when she went to bed, and I woke up at like 4 o'clock this morning, still laying down next to her bed on the floor. And thank you, Patrick, for the one Squid Pro Quo membership. I appreciate you. And that went to Gary N. Hey, Kat and Kern, how are you? So today we're just going to get straight into it. I am in the process of doing laundry. I haven't eaten breakfast because I'm trying to see if I can fast this this cold out of me. But we are going to be looking over the full bar complaint that Judge Mata has filed against David Gingras, and she filed it back in September. But we are just now being able to see the full. And let me change there we go. We are just now being able to see the full bar complaint. And yes, I know YouTube, you don't like addresses, but it's the State Bar of Arizona. It's not a it's not a person's personal address. It's the State Bar of Arizona, which can be looked up easily on the State Bar Association website. This is the judge in the Clayton Echard, Laura Owens v. Clayton Echard non-paternity tonsil twins case. For those of you who need a TLDR, Clayton Echard was a Bachelor contestant on the ABC show The Bachelor a couple years ago. Laura Owens, son of Ron Owens, the semi-famous San Francisco radio host. He got his real estate license. She met up with him to look at some properties. She texted him one night after he had an edible. So for those of you who use edibles, if you ever want to use an edible, don't invite anybody over to your house afterwards. There was not one, but 2 instances of mouth hugs. And she says that she got 11 days later, she said that she got pregnant with twins. And twins are very hard to do a DNA test. So not 2, but 3 different paternity tests from this lab that I can't remember the name of right now came up with little to no fetal DNA. She wanted to all of a sudden drop the case, and he said no, because she ran his name through the press and said that he was a deadbeat dad, called his speaking engagements, got him canceled. It's a whole thing. Well, after going through a whole more lawyers than I can count on 2 hands, she finds David Gingras, who has his own blog, now has a YouTube channel where he's doing things that are against YouTube terms of service, but he liked Twitter, and he thinks that Laura is telling the truth, that this is all, we're in a cult and whatever. The hearing was on June 10th, and he put some stuff in he acted certain ways, and I will link my video I'll link my video where I compared his actions on the June 10th hearing to the Arizona Bar Code of Conduct. And Mata, the judge, so nice, filed a bar complaint against the lawyer. And you know, if a judge files a bar complaint against you, that you did some shit. So we're going to read it. This is Reed David Gingras, Arizona State Bar number 021097, and that is public information, so I'm not redacting that. To whom it may concern. This case number was heard on June 10th, 24. The case has substantial media and social media attention. At the case's inception, both parties were not represented. Petitioner Laura Owens retained several attorneys, and I have to make this a little smaller because it got blurry when I made it big. And I'm sorry, I have to cough up a lung real quick. So I'm going to mute myself. Sorry, guys. I'm having a moment. There's a difference between sitting here just looking and you think you're fine watching something, and then all of a sudden you try to read, and the lungs don't exactly like it. So after this stream, I will be taking the weekend off, and I will see you guys back on Monday. Because yeah, I need to take some time off. I love streaming, but when you are not feeling well and you're trying to not lose your voice completely, reading is hard. Yeah, and honestly, I have this right here that I need to open. It works like a charm, but I finished the last bottle yesterday, and I haven't taken anything since it. Good luck, Flashman. Go kill it. You got it. So I am going to turn off my camera because I don't want any of my haters saying that she's using, she's using drugs on camera, even though it's Mucinex, and I'm obviously coughing. So I'm going to pour it out while no one can see me. Oh, that crap is nasty. It works so great, but it is so disgusting. Like, I don't, ugh. Yeah. Yeah, the trolls are dumb, but because YouTube uses basically a bot and not a real person to look at things initially, they could say, they could do something stupid like say, she's using drugs. Well, technically it is. I mean, technically they're not wrong, but it's over-the-counter cough medicine as I'm sitting here coughing up a lung. So I know they're dumb, but they could manipulate the system, and I'm just not going to set myself up to have to fight a stupid strike for something dumb like that. Hey, Peachy, how are you this morning? All right, let's get into this. Petitioner Laura Owens retained several attorneys during the litigation. And girl stole my glasses. Hey, Angel, what'd you do with my glasses? Well, Hey, Christine. I promise we're going to get into this, because the sooner we get started, the sooner I can get finished and I don't have to worry about coughing on camera. Laura Owens retained several attorneys during the litigation, but the case was ultimately tried by Mr. Gingras. Respondent Clayton Eckerd was represented by Greg R. Woodnick. And Woodnick is amazing. That's where the "she lied" soundbite that Megan has came from, because he's amazing. Good morning, Paul. How are you? Due to the media attention and concerns expressed by petitioner, measures were taken to provide safety to all participants, freedom of the press, and transparency prior to the hearing. Petitioner's request for court security escort from counsel's car into the courtroom while in the hearing and at the conclusion of the hearing was granted, along with measures to ensure any parties with an active order of protection, OOP, or injunction against harassment, IAH, were kept the appropriate distances from each other. Morning, Jinx. Morning, Carol. And Jinx, I keep forgetting to message you on X, so forgive me. I'm having a week. Prior to the trial commencement, court security and Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, MCSO, advised the court that counsel for the petitioner, that would be Gingras, called 911 from the parking lot of the Northeast facility, attempting to have Michael Maricini arrested for violation of an OOP that petitioner had renewed in California. With court security and MCSO present, the court is unsure why 911 would be necessary. Law enforcement was already present. This court, through security and MCSO, advised the responding police officers that Michael Maricini was responding to a valid subpoena. And I'm not sure who went through and highlighted this, but I'm really glad they did. And was not detained prior to testimony, if at all. Not to be detained prior to testimony, if at all. This court is unclear why this witness was identified and an arrest requested. The parties and some witnesses have competing OOPs and IAHs. While the court is unable to find this is witness tampering, given the totality of the circumstances and pretrial litigation regarding the subpoena and witness Michael Maricini, it strongly appears to be an attempt to prevent his testimony by counsel and or the petitioner. Ooh, she called you out. And this was what I did a 6-minute video back in the day, a few months ago when I first started my channel. It's one of the only videos that I actually recorded and edited, comparing this action right here to the Arizona Bar Code of Conduct. And that was going to be an entire series about different lawyers, if their actions actually, because we think of things as unethical based on our personal moral and ethical standards. I have my ethics, y'all have your ethics, but when it comes to the law, that's what I don't understand. Some of the motions prior to the hearing were talking about having Maricini arrested, and then, if I remember correctly, Gingras was like, because he and Mike had reached out, or he had reached out to Mike, and Mike actually responded. But then Mike was like, no, you threatened to have me arrested. I'm not talking to you anymore. And that seemed to send Gingras into a spiral. So this is the first time I've talked about this case in a while. But with the video that I did about the ethics, that's going to be a whole series of comparing, because it's one thing to file a bar complaint. It's one thing to say that somebody is unethical, but actually take an instance that they did, like this 911 call, and compare it to their own bar rules. Then it's like, what I might think is ethical in my own opinion might not be unethical according to the bar. So, Angel Bug. No. Sorry, y'all. I really like how smart she is, but at the same time, she's very, very smart, which causes her to get into some things that she otherwise wouldn't get into. So she opened that container of boogie wipes and started pulling them out. And, you know, it's fun. I just needed to stop a situation before it got out of hand. This court is unclear why this witness was identified, and an arrest requested. The parties and some witnesses as competing OPs. trying to find where it was. It strongly appears to be an attempt to prevent his testimony by counsel and or the petitioner. Respondent intended to call Michael Maricini and Gregory Gillespie to provide evidence of other crimes, wrongs, or acts to show motive, opportunity, intent, preparation, plan, knowledge, identity, absence of mistake, or lack of mistake pursuant to Rule 404B. The court previously found their testimony to be relevant and admissible. During the petitioner's cross-examination, Mr. Gingras appeared to be signaling his client with sweeping arm movements, including making an X with his arms and sweeping his arms along the front of his body. It appeared to be an attempt to prompt certain responses from the petitioner. I'm so glad that Judge Mata found that. I saw that because the rest of us saw it. It was obvious to the rest of us. And I was hoping that if it was obvious to the rest of us, it would be obvious to her too. I know that she has more than one thing to pay attention to in her courtroom. However, I'm really glad that was one of the things that she was attending to. I really like this judge. Once counsel for the respondent stood between Mr. Gingras and the petitioner, she became agitated and emotional. She asked for a brief recess, which was granted. That's true. Once Woodnick got in between Gingras and Laura Owens, and she couldn't see his signals anymore, she acted like she was throwing a temper tantrum. The court issued a ruling dated June 17th, 24. It docketed June 18th, 24. The court received an email from Mr. Gingras on June 17th, 24, demanding the following of the court. And I'm going to skip past his email. Even though his email is public, I still don't want you. Dear Judge Mata's Division, I'm writing to raise a potentially urgent issue that has just come to my attention. In short, Ms. Owens informs me that various individuals have recently posted claims on social media, which, if true, may warrant a change of judge for cause pursuant to Family Law Rule 6.1. Before pursuing this further, I wanted to bring to the court's attention and request a response from Judge Mata directly to verify whether the allegations are true. In short, Ms. Owens has informed me of the following. Judge Mata's father was personally present at the trial held on this matter Monday, June 10th. That's fine, because guess what? He is a member of the public, and the public can be in the courtroom or in the overflow room at this point. 2, after the trial, several individuals, supporters of Mr. Eckerd, claimed to have discussed the case with Judge Mata's father. 3, according to these individuals, Judge Mata's father claimed the judge shared information with him about the case and made comments indicating Judge Mata intended to make adverse rulings against Ms. Owens before trial. I don't believe any of that. Obviously, if these allegations are true, they raise extremely serious concerns. However, I am fully aware that similar claims have recently been posted on social media in other unrelated cases, and those claims were later shown to be false. In this instance, Ms. Owens has reason to believe the allegations regarding Judge Mata's father are true. She has obtained a video of at least one person making these claims, and that person claims to have directly communicated with Judge Mata's father about the matter. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I know the person who he's referring to, and I've talked to her. I was on a panel with her that made it into his DVD of evidence. That's not true. That's not what she said. He's misrepresenting what she said and what Judge Mata's father said. If this claim is true, Ms. Owens believes this may warrant a change of judge for cause pursuant to Family Law Rule 6.1. Hi, Higgles. She's right here. She's got a saline wipe that she's like rubbing all over her face, and she takes advantage of the fact that I say clean your face and your hands, and then she runs with it. So, toddler life. Before proceeding, as unusual as this may be, I'm respectfully asking Judge Mata to respond directly and explain whether these allegations are true. As I mentioned in court last week, I'm currently in Europe on a family vacation. We are currently on a cruise ship, the Norwegian Gateway, anchored in Cannes, France. It's a really nice place. I've been there. We are leaving this evening for Florence, Italy. Way to rub it in your face that you have the money to travel like this. And we will be on the ship until early next week in the docks in Athens. We will have extremely limited phone internet while the ship is at sea. Currently, as of Monday, June 17th, we are plus 9 hours ahead of Arizona time, but that will increase as we move further east. All unnecessary information that is meant to say, ha ha, I'm on a cruise and you're not. Again, I fully understand. And being on a ship for 15 months, like out to sea for 15 months, not seeing land for 15 months, like it ain't all it's cracked up to be, bro. Like, I wouldn't step foot on a cruise ship if you paid me. Again, I fully understand the unusual nature of this message, and as noted above, I understand the allegations may be entirely false. However, given the serious nature of the issue, Ms. Owens has asked me to move forward with an immediate notice of change of judge for cause, unless the court confirms the above allegations are false. I hope this will not be necessary given the significant disruption this may cause, but I am ethically obligated to take all appropriate steps to protect Ms. Owens' rights, and I intend to do so. You wouldn't know your ethics if it smacked you in the face. Morning, Wilburns. How are you? For that reason, I respectfully request a response from the court to the issues raised above by 5 p.m. Arizona time tomorrow, June 18th. For purposes of clarity, the questions I am propounding are as follows. 1, was Judge Mata's father present either in court or in any overflow room for the trial in this matter June 10th? Yes, but guess what? It doesn't matter because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's a member of the public. 2, did Judge Mata's father speak with Mr. Eckert or any of his supporters, including his attorneys at the time? It doesn't matter if he spoke with his Eckert supporters because they are the public too, and you can't tell the public that they can't talk to each other. 3, did Judge Mata share any information of any kind with her father regarding this case prior to June 10th, 24? And if so, what specific information was shared? Thank you for your prompt attention to this request. Blah, blah, blah. Of note, Mr. Gingras demanded that the court respond to him by 5 p.m. the following day. Litigation by email is inappropriate. I love Mata. Judge Mata is amazing. The court responded instructing the parties to file any appropriate motions. Mr. Gingras filed a notice of change of judge for cause, memorandum and affidavit in support on July 8th, 24. While the court takes no issue with the notice, Mr. Gingras was unprofessional and inappropriately disparaging with his pleading. For example, this shameful conduct not only violates Laura's rights, it raises serious questions regarding Judge Mata's fitness as a judge of the Superior Court. And any reasonable, objective observer in Laura's position would be justified in wondering, was my case fairly decided based on the evidence, or was Judge Mata simply trying to impress her father? He wrote this in a pleading. Look at me, Daddy. I'm a real judge now. Just watch me destroy a young woman's life because the other party was on The Bachelor. He literally wrote that in a legal filing. That is not appropriate. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, I'm sorry. This is just unhinged. This is unhinged behavior. In YouTube terms of service, when he was talking about this in his whatever he called that, I can't say it on YouTube because I don't want to get yeeted. He was waving around a pew-pew, talking about how upset he was with Judge Mata. And that video is still up, as far as I know. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, morning, Bruce. Like,
no. Oh, hold on, baby. Mom. I love you. Have hugs. Have hugs, please. Mwah, love you. You only get your game. Yep, you only get your matching game. Ugh. morning, Bruce. I hope Mr. Gingras' fame is worth the shitstorm he's facing. His appeal brief is vitriolic, and his public statements about the judge are made with... Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Yeah, his appeal is 75 pages. Like, I haven't read it yet. I was supposed to read it with with Hines on Thursday, but then I realized that Thursday is Thanksgiving. So, like, you know. Yes. So, yes. So, hello. This is completely different topic, but y'all do have some things in common, but this is not the place or the time. If I am talking about Bruce, if I am talking about the a case that you are involved in, you are more than welcome to make comparisons and or talk about other people. I don't have the problem with it, but this is not the time or place. But yes, the way he presented this is just, I don't like his writings. Even when he's writing a brief that is appropriate and professional, his style of writing is just, and I know I'm a layperson, and I know my writing style is medical. Patient did this with this for this long. I know I'm a very, like, because I write medical documents. So legal and medical are slightly different in how they write, but his stuff is just hard to follow. He puts a lot of stuff that, and this might be completely my opinion, and this is completely my opinion, but as a medical writer, I'm a very, like, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. So I appreciate lawyers that write point A, point B, point C, point D, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the reason, like, here's what I think, and here's why. And not all this fluff to try to sound smarter than he really is. You got a law degree. We know you're book smart. Whatever. Like, but I know plenty of doctors who have very, very advanced degrees who are the stupidest people I've ever met in my life. So just because you have an advanced degree, I've said it before and I'll say it again, does not make you smart. Like, I've attached a copy of the pertinent hearing minutes, entries, and motions for your review. I'm available to discuss further if you deem warranted. Signed, Julie Mata, Maricopa County Superior Court Judge. Like, I like Judge Mata. I like her writing style. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why he's not blocked. If I just don't like, and I've been like this my entire channel, like, if we're talking about the topic that we're talking about and you want to talk about drama in regards to that topic, go for it. But my channel will not be a place to disparage other creators or talk about other cases when I'm a very stay on topic kind of person. What? What's that? What's that? You want to come here? No. Okay. Well, I tried. So she puts David Gingras' email to Randy Sue Pollock. I am writing to document our discussion just now and to explain my position. Per the email below, we spoke about your client, Mike Maricini, about 2 weeks ago. At that time, I told you I just wanted to speak with Mike and hear his side of the story. I also explained that if Mike was going to be a witness in the Arizona paternity matter, I could and would be willing to subpoena him for a deposition if he was unwilling to have a simple phone conversation. Bro, he was unwilling to have a simple conversation with you because you released information about him that, what if you hate everyone asking for a friend? That's me. I don't discriminate. I hate everybody equally. Yeah. And I ain't here to make friends. I'm here to discuss information, facts, things that were put in a legal record. Don't push it, Bruce. Don't push your luck, buddy. Hold on, I have to respond to a text real quick. Aw. Mr. Squid's gonna bring me home lunch, which is good because I forgot to take something out of the freezer. So if you remember correctly, or you're not completely familiar with this case, Gingras released information about Mr. Maricopa. He released audio of a podcast that Laura and Mike did together, where, I'm sorry, Mike, I know you'll probably never hear this, but you say you were embarrassed by how you sounded. I think you sounded great. You have the voice for a podcast, or you have the voice for a podcast much more than me and my scratchy, nasally, much more than my scratchy, nasally, like, southern youper kind of voice, especially now that I'm not feeling well. Mr. Squid knows me well, almost too well. In response to the discussion, you sent me the email below stating that Mr. Maricopa was not going to testify at the trial in June. Since then, counsel for Mr. Eckert has indicated Mr. Maricopa will be testifying in person at that trial. This, of course, is inconsistent with what you said below. 2 different lawyers from 2 different law firms. Sorry, and Mr. Maricopa is a grown adult and has the ability to change his mind. It's his prerogative. To clarify the situation, I called you again to ask if it was possible for me to speak with Mr. Maricopa. Your response was to paraphrase, "No, we are not willing to cooperate with you." That's because you acted like a jerk. If you act like a jerk to people, people are not going to want to cooperate with you when you need them. I don't know how this is hard for grown men and women too, but in this case, the only situation that I've ever had this with online is men. If you create drama and you create a problem and you cause nothing but drama and then you want people to cooperate with you, it's like, and then you get upset and throw a temper tantrum because people don't want to cooperate with you because you tried to dox them and embarrass them and find dirt on them, which I'm pretty sure Mike Maricopa has no dirt because he seems like a really good guy. And like, speaking of dirt, if anybody wants to find dirt on me, good luck, because I get background checked at least once a year. Baby Squid has had a minimum of 3 background checks that I'm aware of, and she's only 2. So we get background checked all the time, and if they didn't find shit, I guarantee you won't either. In light of that response, I want to make 2 things clear. If Mr. Maricopa intends to testify at trial, then I have an absolute right to know this, and I have a right to interview him. That interview can be done informally on a phone call, or it can be done formally in a deposition. Dude, I wouldn't trust you on a phone call, because phone calls don't have receipts. Yeah. Cooperate and they flip out. Don't cooperate and they flip out. This is about them getting to flip out, really. Recreational outrage. And I don't understand the people, and this is just life in general, and like if you ever go on Twitter and you just scroll, how people wake up from the time they go to bed, or the time they wake up to the time they go to bed, try to be so angry. Like, it takes effort to be that pissed off at people. Like, it takes effort to be that pissed off. Like, I don't have that much time. Like, I ain't got time to be that pissed off. Like, Baby Squid back. Yes. Her first background check was, I think, at 6 weeks old. Like, I literally had to fill out paperwork with her social security number and like date of birth and like even the hospital she was born at. Like, I just it's funny actually, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do for work. So, and yeah, we are background checked every time there's a job change, even within the same company. Every time there's a department change, the whole family gets a background check. So, oh yeah, you got to do what you got to do for those clearances, you know? I mean, my clearance expired, but somebody else's did not. So, but even though you have a clearance, every time you change departments, you still have to get a new background check. Like, they don't trust the old one from the prior year, but hey, whatever. It's just a whole bunch of new paperwork that we have to fill out. In light of that response, I want to make two things clear. If Mr. Maricini intends to testify at trial, then I have an absolute right to know this, and I have a right to interview him. That interview can be done informally on a phone call, or it can be done formally in a deposition. Either way, refusing to cooperate is not an available option if Mr. Maricini wants to participate as a trial witness. Are you a spy? Angel. She's refusing to answer. You can take that one as what you will. 2, on the phone, you suggested Mr. Maricini may just show up at trial rather than participating as a subpoenaed witness, i.e. he would simply choose to be there as a spectator or a non-subpoenaed witness. If that is his plan, I need to be clear about our position. If Mr. Maricini shows up as either a spectator or a non-subpoenaed witness, Laura will ask the Phoenix police to have Mr. Maricini immediately arrested. Oh, he's just causing drama. Yeah. This right here. And this is just me not trusting anybody. Like, even when we hired a lawyer a couple years ago for something, like, we did all our stuff through email, but I still like Googled the name of the lawyer, like looked up his bar information, wanted to see if there was anything there, what's he good at, you know, well, like any well-trained spy. Yes, clearly a spy. Oh, it's funny when you're 18 years old, well, 19-ish, and your family is calling you because they got calls from the FBI asking me what I did. And I'm like, I did not do anything. That I need that for my job. Y'all get calls, my bad. But like, at least now they don't call people, from what I've heard. I've never gotten anybody to call me or Mr. Squid saying, you know, we just got a call from A, B, or C. But back in the day, I got phone calls from people who hadn't talked to me in a long time. And they're like, "What'd you do?" I'm like, "I promise you I didn't do anything." All right, so that is the good old bar complaint from Mata. And I'm sorry, bar complaints from random citizens, bar complaints from your former clients, total. Take this with a grain of salt, a giant grain of salt. But like, in my opinion, bar complaints from a lawyer, a fellow lawyer, and a judge just hit differently than a bar complaint from a former client, because you can say anything to piss off a client, and a client can go, "Well, I didn't like the way you treated me." You could tell a client that you think that they're, give them legal advice saying, "I don't think this is a good case to bring up. I don't think you should say this. I don't think you should say this." And you could piss them off and they could write a bar complaint saying you were unethical. It's like, even though you really weren't, you just didn't want to work with them for that particular thing. And I don't know how long there will be a response. Jinx, your name is perfect. I don't know. This was from September 17th, so this was a long time ago. That well, not a long time, but this was a couple months ago, and we're just now getting our hands on it. But in Arizona, everything moves a little slower. You actually have to go places and get documents. Documents are not posted online like other places. This is not Florida, where things are transparent. But a from a judge just hits differently. A complaint from a fellow lawyer, I think it's on a different level than a civilian, shall you say. But I think this is where I am going to sign off for the day. I was supposed to read the 75-page, even thinking about 75 pages of Gingras' writing makes me like cringe. With Dr. Hines, Catch Up Man, on his channel, but we scheduled it for Thursday, not thinking that he's in the UK. They don't really, Thursday's not a holiday for them. Thursday's a holiday here, and we be cooking in this house on Thursday. So we will either schedule a different time or I will do it by myself. That makes me cringe even more. However, in order to not lose my voice, because I kind of feel like crap, and not give her anything. That's the thing too. Trying to be a stay-at-home mom when you don't feel good and like not get your kid sick is even worse, because I try to keep my distance from her when I'm coughing. She comes up to me and wants to give me a hug, and I'm like, I'm not, and she's too young to understand that I'm not feeling well. And the reason why I'm not giving her a hug is because I don't want to get her sick. She's not quite at that, like, doesn't quite have that level of comprehension yet. She's getting there, but are you having fun? Yeah. Do you want to say goodbye? Come here. Come here. Oh, you silly girl. All right, guys. I will. Yeah. Yay. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Say bye. Yeah. Are you going to take over? Yeah. Say, we'll see you guys probably on Monday. There is a Christopher Schultz hearing next week. I believe it's
potato.
And there also is, girl, don't mess with my mic. And also the Kentucky sheriff. There is an indictment, and we will be reading that. That is the sheriff that unalived the judge on camera. And we'll also talk about the possible motive for that, because it is a different. There is some things there that on the surface you would think would piss off any parent, let alone if your parent is a sheriff. So we won't have an answer from the Diddy hearing until Monday. That does not surprise me, because yeah. And if you want coverage from the Diddy hearing, the Wilborn's channel is a good place to get it. She streamed it yesterday. I know it's Saturday morning, but is anybody live this morning? It's hard to tell. So let's go look. Otherwise, I'm going to send you guys off into the YouTube universe to do your own thing. Just me. Yeah, and usually I think Saturday mornings, if Mr. Squid is going to keep working on Saturday mornings, Saturday mornings might be a good streaming time. Gets me up and going in the morning, because I actually managed to like dry my hair today. It still has the cast on it. Sorry, not doing the. I will be streaming the Sean Stein's. I did the his initial court appearance. I did stream that. I believe there is. I did make a. I believe I made a playlist, but right now that's the only video in the playlist, because. Ooh, Broken Baker is live. Stabby Day. Gotta love Broken Baker. All right. Y'all have a great day. Thanks, Celine. It could be worse. And I'm glad that I took yesterday off to try to be better. But tell Broken Baker that I sent you and I said hi. And y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye.